it strong.
Welcome back to the Davis's Journey to Financial Freedom. Wanted to bring you guys a quick video. I'm not sure if you guys have heard or were made aware of the House just passed about almost 2 weeks ago a bill to abolish the IRS. Yes, to abolish the IRS and to replace it with a bill that they're calling the Fair Tax Bill, aka the consumption tax bill. And basically, what this is all about is getting rid of all of the wasteful spending, basically, in sort of in an indirect way, that Congress has been doing in terms of all of the money that they collect, the IRS collects from us working uh, folks that are paying into the system. So basically, I just want to let you guys hear this little short video clip that explains or highlights what the fair tax bill is all about. So hold on just a second.
The Republican-led House will vote on a bill to abolish the IRS and replace the existing income tax system with a wide-reaching consumption tax.
The House will be in order.
Representative Buddy Carter introduced the legislation known as the Fair Tax Act, and Kevin McCarthy agreed to allow a floor vote on the legislation as part of a deal cut with the conservative House Freedom Caucus to become House Speaker. The bill, which has a near zero chance of becoming law during Congress, envisions simplifying the tax code. It would scrap the income tax, payroll tax, corporate taxes, gift taxes, and the death tax altogether, and replace them with a nationwide consumption tax on goods and services. The IRS as an entity would also be killed by the legislation. The Fair Tax Plan is one that has been touted by conservative lawmakers for more than 2 decades.
Yesterday, every Democrat went on record saying that they want to more than double the size of the IRS to go after people like the hardworking families, the single mom who's working 2 shifts at a restaurant.
Although it has never gained widespread acceptance within the GOP and is opposed by Democrats. The bill is in many ways the polar opposite of the Democratic legislation passed last year, which infuses the IRS with funds to hire tens of thousands of more IRS workers.
Okay, so basically, this news clip is saying that it virtually has no chance. Well, I disagree with that. It can have a heck of a chance if enough people are made aware of it and aware of the a lot of the pros about it. The way the mainstream media is trying to spin it, if they're even talking about it at all. I don't really watch the news except for what I come across on YouTube. But I don't think that they're really talking about it because I don't really see a whole lot of people on Facebook talking about it. So that kind of lets me know that the average person is probably not even aware of it, because the mainstream media is doing a heck of a job with suppressing a lot of information out there. But basically, in a nutshell, we wouldn't have to, have this mad dash to file taxes every year by April the 15th, for one. And to me, I think it would be more fairer, if that's even a word, to have consumption tax. I mean, we pretty much pay taxes on everything anyways that we buy. You know, if you buy prepackaged foods, a lot of times that stuff can be taxed, but regular whole food, like, you know, fruits and vegetables, and meat, and milk and cheese, those are usually not taxed. So you usually only pay taxes on, when you go to the grocery store, is the prepackaged stuff, which a lot of that prepackaged stuff is not good for you anyways. You know, it's highly processed. They got a lot of Frankenstein stuff in it, GMOs, dyes, chemicals, and all that. So it's really not good for you anyways. But you know, I feel like, you know, people, if they want to consume those types of products or whatever, you know, by all means they should be able to consume them. But they should pay the cost to make those decisions, because it's going to impact their health wise. So, you know, more likely they're going to have health issues and stuff like that, you know, um, and then that's going to affect, you know, insurance premiums, you know, for everybody across the board. So, you know, but I feel like it's a damn good idea. It would save the government a ton of money, and it would make it more fair. You wouldn't have to have all these exemptions and you know, all these loopholes and whatnot, you know. And really, the income tax, which was instituted in 1913, along with the creation of the IRS, it was only supposed to be temporary. Well, as we all know, that whenever government, whether it's federal or state or your local city government or whatever, whenever they pass any type of tax, most of the time it's never temporary. And even when they do pass like sales tax that are supposed to be for a specific project or something like that, and it's only going to be for a certain amount of time, usually a lot of times maybe, you know, 5 years or 10 years, something like that. I see these things when I'm working on a water system or a sewer system project for a small town, for my job, because I have to evaluate their financial statements, that they have to have done by a certified public accountant, um, and to see if they can afford the project, because we never give a project, or I shouldn't say never, but we typically almost never give a project 100% funding in terms of grant money. It's usually going to be a combination of a low interest rate loan. And if the town is impoverished enough, then they can get a certain amount of grant funds to help them complete their project. So sometimes they will pass if it's a town or a village that's getting the project done, they have the flexibility to be able to pass a small, you know, excise tax or something like that, to help fund the project or help them pay for the loan that's going to result once the project is complete. And a lot of times that money, or that tax revenue that they're going to generate, it has an expiration date on there. So a lot of times they'll make it good for 10 years, something like that. But what I've noticed in the 3 years that I've been doing these types of commercial projects is that a lot of times that temporary tax just keeps getting renewed, you know. And so, because once people get used to paying it, you know, then they kind of like, it's out of sight, out of mind. You just kind of forget about it, you know, and that's what's happened. You know, over the years of them passing different types of taxes on various things, that now we pay over 100 different types of taxes, you know, when at the end of the day, when it's all said and done. And like I said, it's usually, when it comes to governments, is it never ends up being temporary. That's how they sell it to the public. Oh, this is just going to be for a few years or whatever. And then, they end up renewing it time and time again. And they'll have a public meeting about it, but most people don't, very, very few people will go to their city council meetings and stuff like that in their local city and stuff like that. So a lot of times they end up rolling over these temporary taxes year after year with virtually no opposition, you know, and they say, well, some people that are against the fair tax or the consumption tax, they say, well, it's going to, affect middle and low income people more adversely. Well, all people consume products, so everybody is already paying taxes on things that they purchase already. And like I said, they could leave it to where you still don't pay any taxes on whole foods, like fruits and vegetables and meat and dairy. They could leave it to where we don't pay any taxes on those items, or make it very minimal, maybe 1% of your total bill or something like that. And then the other stuff would be taxed, like just like it is now. When you buy a car, you pay taxes. When you buy clothes, you pay taxes. Poor and middle class people, they buy clothes, they buy cars. You pay taxes already on that stuff. When you buy a plane ticket or a bus ticket or a train ticket, you pay taxes, and fees. So we're already used to paying taxes on everything as it is, and so I don't see where it would hurt people overall more than it already does. Now it would be interesting to see how they would do, because when you buy a house, you already pay taxes. You pay real estate taxes. But the thing about it is, when you buy a house, you pay the real estate taxes every year. So I would be curious to see or how they would do that. Would it still be where if you're buying a house, you still got to pay real estate taxes, property taxes every year, or could it be a one-time deal when you first buy the house? Because if you're renting, then you don't pay any tax. You just pay your rent amount. you know so I would be curious to see what they would do about that. And it makes it not fair in a way when you're buying, because you never really own it. Even if you don't have a mortgage or loan on the property, you still got to pay real estate taxes. And if you don't, after so many years, typically it's about 5 years, then your state government or your county or whatever that you live in, they can seize your property and take your property from you, if you don't pay the property taxes every year. So to me, that needs to be revised, because that's not fair, in my opinion, that you never really own it. And then let's see you know car 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 registration fees. There, you pay a small tax with that. Depending on your state, you may have to register your car every year, or every other year, or something like that. So I feel like, what would they do about that? Would that still be the same way, where you're paying taxes, every year, every other year, to register your car as a part of your car registration fees? That would be interesting to see how that would play into it. But overall, I think it's a great idea. I think more Americans need to be made aware of it and need to really seriously look into it And if you agree, get behind it and start making some noise about it, because it's just ridiculous. It was never meant for us to be paying taxes on our wages. And the tax code is not written for, it was not written with the worker in mind. It was always designed for the business owner. So until or if they ever change it, the best thing you can do is get you a small base business. It don't even have to really be making a whole lot of money or really making any money at all after your expenses and stuff like that, at least for the first 5 years. But you can, you get to write off a whole lot of stuff. So that would be my best advice to you, is to get you a little small home-based business. It could be something you do online, Mary Kay, whatever. That would be my best advice. And then my second best tip is to do your research on this fair tax or consumption tax and abolishing the IRS. Yeah, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling it for real. The more I'm looking into it, I'm thinking it's not a bad idea. And this is not the first time it's been proposed, by the way. There's been various people throughout the decades that have proposed this consumption tax bill or fair tax plan, and getting rid of the IRS for many, many years. And I think it's about that time. All right. Until next time, peace and goodwill to everybody, and make it a great day. See you soon. Oh, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please, 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 please. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.